Hi everyone, welcome to another video. So what we're going to do is let's get started with our quote of the day. So it's going to be Luke chapter 9 verse 23. Then he said to them all, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. Okay, so that's the quote of the day, and the topic we'll be covering is exporting functions as a module. Alright, so let's get started. Um, So what we're gonna do today is, what we could do is we're gonna create some functions in a file here, and I name the file with the extension .psm1. So PSM is like PowerShell module, and you want to put the number 1 at the end of it. So what we'll do is we'll create two functions here, and then we'll export the module, and then we'll try to run the module itself. So what are these modules? So they're like the same way how if you watched our previous videos on how to install modules. Normally we would download it from like over the internet from people who built them out, and they stored it maybe on GitHub or some other repositories, and then we just download those code packages or modules, and then we import it, and that's how we get to use those extended features and functions. Now we're going to actually create our own from our own machine, and we're going to try to do the same thing, except we're not going to go out there. We're just going to install it on our machine and see how that runs. So let's get started with our functions. We're just going to make some simple functions here. So this one will be function get, maybe greeting. All right, and then so what is this going to do? This is going to take in a parameter maybe of a name. So let me do that. So we're going to create our parameter section here, and then we're going to declare what the input type is going to be. So it's going to be a string input type, and then we'll put name, which will be our variable, and maybe we could hard code a name like John or something. All right, so and then so once we do that, so come out of the parameter section now, and now we're going to actually go into the actual code itself. So we're just going to say something very simple. Hello name. So that would be name all right, and then this could be right host. All right, so what we're going to do here, so pretty much the code is going to accept an input. If there's no input, it will actually run, it'll just use whatever is in here, and then right host hello, and then the name, which will actually be written out to the screen. So this is our function. Now in a module, the cool thing is you could have multiple functions. You don't have to have just one for every module. So we could actually do another one here, and maybe this one we'll do for some math in here. So we'll do some add numbers. So that's the cool thing. When you're trying to create some modules, you could actually just put out whatever you need to put, and if you have multiple functions that you want to do a bunch of stuff in. And just remember the data type, since this is numbers we'll be dealing with, so it's going to be integers, so it'll be int, and then I'll just maybe put something simple as a variable, which will be a. All right, and then put a comma, so because we're going to have more than one, and then this will be variable b, and then okay, then we come out of our parameter, so we create our parameters there. So we're just going to do something simple. So now we're going to go into code block, and oops, I think I just took that off by mistake. All right, so now we're in our code block. We're going to do return a plus b. So what it's doing here, So if you call this function, it'll accept two parameters. It's going to expect it to be numbers, and it'll expect two numbers to be input parameters. And what it'll do is it'll take the sum of it, and then it'll return the output as the answer of the sum. All right, and then what else we're going to do? So we need to do kind of like put the export. So export dash module member. All right, and then we're gonna pretty much gonna kind of list the functions that we have here. So it's gonna be function, and it'll be get greeting, and then the other will be add numbers. So you want these to kind of match the functions that you want to export. So it'll be get greeting, so we just make sure you get greeting, and then the add numbers, make sure it matches those function names. So that's very important. So when you export it, then these will be kind of exposed for you to use. All right, so that's how we're gonna do this. And maybe we could rename this to be example module. So let me save this, and we go back to our folders, and let me rename this to be example module. Now you can name it to be anything you want. I just kind of like want to put something that says example in it, so I'll know what it is. And just remember, you gotta name it with the extension .psm1. That's very important if you want this to be a module. So it's not like a normal PowerShell script. It's actually like a PowerShell module. All right, so we got all this set up, and so what we're going to do is we're going to go to this directory here, but before we do that, so we need to know where we need to copy this, right? So we could actually, you could copy it in maybe the existing PowerShell modules folder, or you could have it in a custom folder. I'll put it in a custom folder so we'll know. So I'll just create a folder here quickly. So on the C drive, we'll create something called maybe I'll say maybe custom PS modules. All right, and then we're going to copy that PS1. So I think we had it in our scripts directory. What was that called? Example. So that will be, so let me copy this over. To our custom PS modules. All right, so example module, and it has that. So now we can maybe create a script off of this. Okay, now let's do that. So now we're going to use our basic script here. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to import the module. All right, and do dash name, and then we're going to put the full path to that module. So let me just do that here. So quickest way to do that, kind of like in Windows, so you can do this trick. You just have the actual path open, and then I just put this at the end, and then I'll copy that whole thing. Oh shoots, didn't mean to do that. And then I just wanted to copy this whole path. So we're going to put that path in here. All right, so So we're going to import this module, and now let's try to see if we could get to the. Okay, then we got to do. Oh, I forgot. We got to do get module and dash name. Yeah, I'm just kind of showing you the demonstration example module to show that it found it. So that's why we'll just run this command. It's not necessary to run this command, but it's just to kind of demonstrate that, hey, it was found. So let's see if this will work. All right, so there you go. It worked. So it actually found the module, and you could see that it shows as a module type as a script. We didn't declare any version numbers. The example module, that's the name of the module, and then inside these are the functions, commands that we could use. All right, so that kind of shows you. So if you do an import and you want to see what's available in there, that's one way of doing it. All right, and then now let's test our code here. So we could do get greeting. All right, and then so I think the input was name, right? So we'll put the name as John. Well, we'll put it as Johnny. All right, so let's see if this will work. There you go. Hello, Johnny. So that first function worked. Let's try the second function. So we wanted to do add numbers. So add dash numbers, and you can see that it found it is part of the IntelliSense here. So that means it detected the module as well. So remember, they expected 2 parameters. So A, we'll just put 2, and then the B parameter will be maybe 3. All right, so we're going to test that function. Let's see if that'll work. So it should return a number back to us if everything worked out fine, which is 5. So there you go. So that's how you could create your own modules and use them back in your PowerShell scripts. Now, if you don't want to go through all this, you want to maybe show up as a system. The one way you could do that, let me show you that. So when you declare the path here, you could put your modules in any folder that you want, and that will kind of like give you the option to, put it anywhere on your system. But if you wanted it to be, show up as a system one, like how we showed you yesterday, how you would like import it, like if you downloaded it, and you just have all you have to do is like do an install module, and then it's already in the system. You can just check to see where the path is, and once you put the PSM1 files in those specific folders, then you should be able to get into that. So how do we know where to get that, where to put it? Like if you didn't know which folder or you didn't know where the path of the environment folders are, so this is the command you would put. So it'll be env, well, $env colon ps module path. So what it'll do is it'll find all the specific folders where it's going to look for modules. So you can see it's like a few of them. So it will look in this path here. It will look in this path here, which I think these are the ones when PowerShell is installed. The Windows PowerShell ones, these are like the default ones. But these are declared. So whatever you declared in this path, it will switch through these folders for the modules. So you can see the VS Code, which is this tool. It has a modules folder for this as well. All right, so, and let's say, okay, well, I don't want to put it in these paths. I want to have my own custom folder, and I don't mind putting the path to it. So you could actually put this custom folder, this C custom PS, custom PS modules folder, that path. You could put it here as well. And how to do that is, all you got to do is you could either go into like the system and then you just added that part of the module, or you could just go in here and you do I think it's a PSENV. I'll type it in, but I just don't want it as part of my path. But let me see if I could do it here. So we will just change this out. Oops, I went too much over. So it'll be plus equal. So plus equals, I don't know if you remember or if you know about arrays and stuff like that. So pretty much it's kind of like an append. That plus equal means, so whatever, like for example, whatever we have in here already, it's not going to override it. All we're just going to do is add to what append towards this, meaning that you would add append another value, meaning that you're just updating. So we will do C. So let's say we're going to put the well, let me just do colon backslash, and it'll be custom PS modules. All right, so I think, yeah, once you do that, I think oh yeah, I gotta close the quotes, can't forget that. So just to let you know what we're doing here, so this is like an environment variable, so that's why you see the $env colon. And so if you are familiar with environment variables, you could actually set that for your machine to kind of like saying, hey, when you put shortcut paths, like for example, if you want to execute like PowerShell, there's a path to the exe, and just by typing PowerShell instead of typing the whole path to PowerShell, they have an environment variable for that as well. So this environment variable is for the modules. So that's where this PS module path is. So now what I'm doing here with this command, so this one is kind of to read what's in the path right now. So that's these folders here. And this one down here is to actually update it. So meaning that I'm going to take the current part, I'm going to take whatever is in here, and I just want this to add this to update to my list pretty much. So let's hit enter on this one. All right, and then if you go back and it's supposed to kind of add it back. If we do a read, it should be in there. And there you go. You can see it added it to the end. And you see how they're all separated by semicolons. I forgot to let you know. That's why we put the semicolon in front here. So you could add that extra one, and the list is separated by semicolons. So that's how we know that's in there. So it should work if we I think if we take this off, I'm not sure. Let's give it a shot and see. Oh, there you go. So it worked. And there you go. So now you have a way how to use, you could put your custom folders, your custom module folders in here, or you could take your PS module for your current PS modules files, and you could put it in maybe in the existing folders of the system PowerShell ones, or you could just put the path like what I showed above here earlier, like this. You could put your custom path, your custom full path to the actual module that you want. So you have all these options, and there you go. All right, so I think that's all for today. So we learned how we could export functions to functions to like modules, and we showed you how we could use it. So that way you kind of like, as we go day by day, you're understanding, hey, well, we download all these modules from the internet. Now you could create your own modules, maybe upload it to the internet for this to use, or just for your personal use, or I don't know, maybe your job or whatever you want to use it for. All right, so don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's close off with our quote of the day. So it's going to be Luke chapter 9 verse 23. Then he said to them all, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. All right, don't forget to read your Bible, and if you're not going to church, try to find a good Bible-based church, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.